Joining me now is former international rugby star Kenny Logan, who's struggled with dyslexia right through into adulthood, really. I mean, when I say struggle, that's putting it mildly.
Yeah, slightly.
Isn't it? You know, it was much, much more than a struggle because at school, started at school, really, really difficult for you.
Yeah, I mean, when you're at school, you're there to enjoy yourself and enjoy learning. And I just got to the stage when I was about 6, 7, 8, really started to struggle to learn.
Yeah.
Couldn't understand why I couldn't get things on paper or processed properly. And it just became, I got that horrible feeling in my stomach, and school life was the worst part of my life.
It must have been absolutely horrendous, and nobody picked up on it.
No, I wasn't. There was a teacher later on, Deirdre Wilson, I always remember her name,
Yeah.
and she's a really good friend of mine. She said, "You've got this condition called dyslexia." And I was like, "Great, what is it?" And she was like, "You've got this, and you can't read very well, and letters." And I thought I'd get some antibiotics and be cleared in 10
Get a wee
days. But
pill
it
and
wasn't
it'd be
quite
fine.
like that.
No.
But and once she told me, I still had that. I was ashamed more than anything else.
Right.
So you grew up being ashamed of it. So you were always going into a room thinking, right, is somebody going to ask me to read something? Always looking for the...
Yeah.
You're always in front of the game in a way.
But the thing is, you're really bright, you're really intelligent.
Thank you.
So, no, you are. But that's why you were able to hide it for so long. That's why you were able to do that. And even when you were playing, I mean, what about things like when they were giving team talks or they were, you know, sending you texts and things like that? How did
So I used to pretend I didn't get the text. We didn't really do much texting, but I used to pretend I didn't get it.
Right.
And then I would go into a team room and check the room and see if there's any papers in there,
Right.
or the flip chart was up, and I'd check the flip chart. And if there's any writing on it, I'd start panicking a little bit. So then I would go out, and then I would go and sit in the toilet for maybe 10 minutes. So I'd miss the first 10 minutes of the session. And when I turned up, the coach would go, "Where have you been?" "Oh, I didn't realise." I was there before anybody.
You were there before anybody. You're more committed than anybody.
Yeah.
But they probably thought,
I didn't care.
What's he doing?
Yeah.
Why is he not? Why can he not come up and text?
So I used to sit in the toilet as a 25-year-old going, "I wonder if they finished that now." Then I'd walk in and go, "Oh, act a bit
Horrible.
silly." And actually, Gabby was the one that made me do it. Close it, and she said, "You're a really quick reader."
Right.
And I went, yeah, really quick. "Do you want a cup of tea?" Thinking that normally moves them away.
Right.
But she's a bit clever in that. She said, "Why do you not want to read it?" And I was like, "Oh, it's a really good article. It's really getting upset with myself, and I could really feel this part here." And she said, "You can't read, can you?" And I went, "Of course I can read." She went, "Well, just read that for me." I went, "And I can't read." And I started sort of crying, because generally nobody had ever done that to me.
Right.
And she put her arms around me, and I'll never forget it. When I put my arms around her, and I said to her, "Do you still want to go out with me?" And she said to me, "Why?" I went, "Because you think I'm stupid." She went, "I think you're the bravest guy I've ever met."
Oh.
So it was the support of that.
Yeah.
And she'd been really supportive for me. And then I obviously went through the programmes I did, and it totally gave me the opportunity for this person to grow up.
Yeah.
And I suppose now I don't want children to feel like I did.
Sure.
And it's not embarrassing to say to somebody, "Can you just spell that out for me? Because I'm
Exactly.
dyslexic."
I mean, it's not your fault. It's a condition that you have. You know,
Yeah, I know.
that's the thing. But there will be a lot of people, and you know that, there'll be a lot of people watching today that probably didn't look for help.
Yeah.
There's a lot more help around than there was when you
Loads
you
of
were
help
young,
now,
isn't
which
there?
is great. I mean, there's loads of organisations, there's books coming out all the time of famous people talking about
Yep.
their issues. And
Yeah,
how
we
they've-
saw there,
yeah.
Richard Branson, he's done all right.
He's done all right. He's done all right.
He's
I
done
do
right.
half as well as he has done all right.
I know.
So it's really important for the sort of well-known people in business talking about it. And I know
Sure.
some really big business guys who run global businesses and say, "I can't read either."
Right, wow.
So it's quite... And it's important that we just talk about it. And
No, for sure.
The more we talk about it, the more... I mean, I speak at a lot of schools, and the children at the end of it, I want to do what you did. And if I can help one person...
Exactly. But it's the stigma. We've got to get over,
The
like as you
stigma's-
said.
yeah.
You know, I think that's going. I do think that's going.
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, you didn't want to ask for help because you felt ashamed.
You're totally
and you can
ashamed.
understand that. Of course, you shouldn't have, but you can understand that. And it's to try and get rid of that. Get rid of
There's
that.
more help now.
Yeah, there is. Can you read now? Can you read? Are you
Yeah,
all
I mean,
right now?
what I'll do
Or do you
sometimes...
still struggle a wee bit?
I struggle a little
Yeah.
bit, but as long as I see it first,
Okay.
I can read a lot better.
Sure.
But before, I'd just totally panic. I'd be like, if somebody said that to me 10 years ago, I'd be like, "I've got to get out of here." And I'd literally feel sick.
Gosh.
So now I'll look at it and then go, right, I can read that.